New York appeals court has ruled in favor of an artist who has used a zoom lens in order to take photographs of his neighbors while they're in their apartments with their family members, and then he used those photos in an art exhibit. The artist in question here is Arne Svenson. His portfolio, which featured in an exhibition called The Neighbours, was put on a show at a Manhattan gallery, with the pictures being sold for as much as $8,000 each. Now, I should note that he did blur out the faces of his neighbors, but his neighbors still recognized the photos, and they realized, oh my God, this guy's taking pictures of us while we're in our homes, in our apartments. The court has said that under existing New York law, Mr. Svenson's pictures should be treated in the same way as photographs taken by news photographers, where permission was not sought. That is not true, though. I find it really curious they came up with that decision. So if you're a journalist who's taking pictures for a news story, you can only do it in a public place. The person has to have has no expectation of privacy. When you are in your own home, you have an expectation of privacy, a very understandable one, right?
Yeah. So I think they're wrong too, and I understand why people are outraged by this. I mean, now think about it. We all have to live in a cave now. You got to make sure that your curtains are closed all the way, closed in every room, because Mr. Svenson could be around the corner taking pictures. Now, in this case, some of the pictures I think are unsettling anyway, and everybody acknowledges that they were art in this particular case, and they sound like they were art, and the judge says likewise, right? Like of somebody taking care of their baby. And it's an interesting shot because they don't know they're being photographed. So I get why that's cool as an art piece, right? But we can't have it. I mean, he's taking pictures of your kids, you know, inside your house. That's nuts, right? Yeah. One couple sued on that basis saying, that's my underage kid. You can't be taking pictures of him through the window. Now, look, I know sometimes we do the stories of the guys who come up and put their balls up on their first floor window pane as people are walking by. We can't have that either. So it's sure, it depends on the context. But in this context, as high zoom lens going into an apartment in Manhattan, and when they have complete expectation of privacy, don't make us live all in a cave.
Right. I mean, we're already there. And when it comes to people being able to photograph you while you're inside your home and all of that stuff, let's say you are standing right outside or right at your doorway or right in front of your window and you're naked or whatever. Well, in that case, you don't have an expectation of privacy. And again, the laws vary based on the state that you're in, but in this case, the family did have a reasonable expectation of privacy. So I hate the fact that the court ruled this way, and they also, maybe they did consider it, but based on their ruling, it seems as though they didn't consider that with advanced technology, things need to change, laws need to change, our mentality needs to change. This is not a regular camera, and so if we're gonna have this high-powered lens that can look into someone's apartment, well, we have to have laws that address that.
Yeah. And for people to say, well, how can you tell? Well, that's what judges are for. They're supposed to determine what is a reasonable expectation of privacy. And I think that they erred in this case. And Anna's right that the states differ in how much weight they give your privacy versus his First Amendment rights. But I would have ruled on the side of it is not reasonable to have this camera up in our business, inside our homes. We did expect privacy in those places. And now if you live in New York in that jurisdiction, and make sure you draw the curtains because anybody can come in. And this guy didn't happen to be taking pictures for purient interest, but he could have been. He could have been taking naked pictures of people, and maybe he did. We don't know, right? He just exhibited the normal ones, right? And then there's a lot more out there, and if it's legal, and they can take naked pictures of you, and they could put them out in public, they could also put it on the internet. That's a disaster. We can't have it.